Should we talk about HeroQuest?
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
I think I have played this, but as little kids, to where I don't know
That's awesome that you played it.
if the rules... I don't think I really played it, probably. It's like, when little kids just come up with rules for...
I think it's funny you say that because I think this is probably one of those games that a lot of people homebrewed because it was very difficult.
Okay.
Where most board games at the time were, just rolling dice and moving around a board, this was like one turn could go by and you were dead. So,
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if if you were in good company with a lot of people who homebrewed this game.
Gotcha.
So HeroQuest, I like talking about HeroQuest because it falls in an interesting place, I feel like, in tabletop gaming history. Here's my very damaged box of HeroQuest. You can see the $2 sticker where my mom unsuccessfully tried to sell it at a garage sale, thankfully. Nice. But HeroQuest came out in the very late 80s. I think it was 89 or maybe even 1990. And it was, one of a number of games at the time to try and like board gamify Dungeons and Dragons. So D&D, was already probably peaked in popularity by the time this game came out because of another gaming system called the Nintendo Entertainment System, which I think is probably credited more than anything with relegating D&D to a second tier for nerds at home. But yeah. So D&D was just kind of exploding, and then the late 80s came around, and it was already kind of waning, and HeroQuest came out. And so it was basically a very simplified version of D&D. You really just wander around a gridded map. There was a DM, I think, that was called Zargon. There's this early kind of DM screen. So 2 to 5 players. There's this Zargon screen. The map was kind of like, I don't know, always kind of reminded me of Clue. Because it was these gridded rooms.
It does look like Clue.
I know, yeah, it always reminded me of Clue. And so Milton Bradley is not responsible for Clue. I think Clue is Parker's brothers. But, yeah. So it looked like Clue. There were these rooms that were blank. And then to actually play the book, there's instructions like any other game, but to actually play the book, there were these quests. I think this book had about 14 or 15 quests in it. And if you were Zargon, you would set up the quest according to the layout. And you put these kind of stone tiles for blocked corridors, so, you'd move all around this map based on whatever was in this quest book. And it was kind of an interesting mechanic because you'd start with these closed doors, which these are all so sadly damaged. This game, by the way, is like prized among collectors, according to my understanding, if it's in good shape.
Yeah.
Mine copy did not sell for $2. So I don't think it is in good shape.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'd start with the closed doors, and then your characters would say you want to open a door, and it was just. I mean, it's almost the same mechanic in Gloomhaven now. You open the door and you reveal the room beyond. Gloomhaven's a little more streamlined because you can actually play it without a DM. I think you probably could have played this game with a little bit of homebrewing without a DM also. Mm-hmm. You would have just had to make some rules for how the monsters react.
Gotcha. These are awesome, by the way. If you bought this for Gloomhaven, these pieces, so this is like $500.
No, for sure. So that's like
on Kickstarter.
That's one of my favorite things about this game is these minis for scatter. Yeah. It was like a mix of molded plastic and paperboard.
Yeah, the bookshelf is a good
and it works really well. Yeah, and like
this one's great.
Who is doing mixed, color plastic molding Nobody does this. And obviously, it doesn't look great, but I always felt like that was like my favorite part, was just setting up these rooms.
Yeah.
One of the other cool things at the time were the dice. They were hit dice, which was kind of magical for me as a kid because every board game just had 6-sided pip dice. It was like all that existed.
Custom dice.
And so to have custom printed dice.
Oh, they're like etched even.
Well, yeah, and so it's interesting.
That's cool.
Milton Bradley actually licensed a lot of the material in this game from Games Workshop.
Oh, okay.
Games Workshop was still, I wouldn't say it was in its infancy in 1990, but it was still, it was barely a recognizable name in the gaming industry at the time. And so they licensed a lot of this stuff. So the enemies you fight, there's undead, there's the greenskin orcs and goblins, but then there's also the Chaos Warriors, which is, one of the factions in Warhammer. And so, I think they licensed these mini sculpts. And I don't know if they worked with Games Workshop on the design of this thing at all, but it definitely has the feel. Even the spells, the minis, has the feel of a Warhammer board game, even though it's not one. So the reason we're talking about HeroQuest, right, is there's a new version.
Yeah.
So Milton Bradley, obviously, I think was absorbed or merged with Hasbro long ago. Hasbro now also owns Parker Brothers, so Hasbro relaunched their HasLab, which is basically like their own in-house Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And a few million people put up money to make the HeroQuest board game.
Backers?
I'm pretty sure.
That's amazing.
It was maybe it wasn't a few million people, it was a few million dollars raised. But it was definitely a large number of people, including me. This is the old version of the game. And neither of us have seen the new version of the game, so we're going to open it up and check it out and see how it compares.
Let's do it.
All right.
That box is bigger.
The box is bigger. I think the long format game board was a thing of the past, so the format of this box already feels much more like a modern board game. It is very big in Gloom. It is not nearly as weighty as Gloomhaven, but I feel like the volume. Oh man, more art, more
The art
on
is
the inside.
very iconic, though.
So the other thing that was big at this time was Conan the Barbarian, the Arnold Schwarzenegger version. So, it was no coincidence that the Barbarian was all over. What am I taking out?
Okay,
of this
let's do it.
This is cool.
Way. Andrew just pulled out a box with some
I pulled out a
plastic
box
in there.
with molded plastic.
Let's open that up.
Oh, yes. Oh, so...
Ooh. I'll get shots of all these.
So here,
exactly.
grab me the previous minis. Just grab the whole box.
Okay.
Because this is how the minis were stored previously. Yeah.
And now
we've got custom molded plastic.
Awesome. That'll get.
Very cool. So I'm guessing go right back in the sleeve. Yeah, the Chaos Warriors look great. I'm guessing these abomination things were... Oh man, these guys are really in here. These are cool too. So there was this monster called a Fimir. I don't know if it even survived into future versions of Games Workshop material, but now it looks like it's replaced with this abomination. It's like a fish monster. But everything else in here just looks like a really nicely updated sculpt of the old stuff. So very cool. So I'm looking forward to, I think one of the cool things about this version is...
Weird.
This one?
This one fits
It
weird.
doesn't fit perfectly. Or maybe it just wasn't in
It was in like that, so
Okay.
I'm not sure.
at the time, late 80s, the hobby world was very male centric. So I'm excited for this version because they included feminine versions of the dwarf, the barbarian, and the wizard. And so there should be a second set of heroes somewhere in here.
A whole other box.
Alright, so...
Okay.
Oh, and the dice. The dice are like pretty much the same as before. Yeah.
Okay.
This one's heavier.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
Oh, look at all of these doors.
Alright,
So
so yeah, the door
Let's
sculpts
compare.
are pretty awesome.
Your doors maybe face the most abuse.
The doors definitely
They don't
face
have-
the
they
most
didn't have
abuse. Yeah, I mean, I guess the standard with gaming now is that they assume a lot of hobbyists are going to paint their own stuff, so everything is unpainted. This feels like
This
dense.
is heavy.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
dense, heavy plastic though.
Oh, this is the biggest piece of scatter. Yeah, maybe we should paint these.
Maybe we
I feel like
should.
scatter is a much less daunting task to paint than
Yeah.
a mini, so maybe I can bang these out.
So this character sheet, I think, might be an exact replica of the original character sheet. This is actually one of the things that's missing from my old set. I don't know if we used them all or if they just got lost at some point. But yeah, just like Gloomhaven, you tracked the progress of your character on that sheet. I'm guessing these are all the spell cards, treasure cards. Do you think they use the same art or new art? I think we gotta find out. So the art, D&D art at the time was such a mixed bag, between like amateurish black and white and like just really good color renderings. Okay, so the character sheets. So the character sheets in the old version I actually still really love. Character sheets in the old version were these paperboard cards, and this is actually something that was probably way ahead of its time to actually have a character reference, a game reference for each character. Because I feel like between this and modern board games, I don't remember many games that actually had rules on a handout for each character. But it looks like they've now replaced those character cards with just regular cards, which is cool. I don't think you need... Oh, and there's a reference card.
Fire guys, yeah.
Which is cool. I'm into that. And so these are probably... these are the bad guys. Alright. So the bad guys.
Can we compare?
Yeah, so actually, this is what I meant by the mixed bag of artwork. So you've got your black and white goofy monster drawing next to the actually well drawn treasure cards in the old school. But yeah, these are these are
very
a marked improvement. So there's gargoyles. Yeah, same stats. I mean, I'm guessing they.
Do you know if there's any rule changes?
That's what I know they expanded. Like I know they added characters, but from what I've seen, for what I've read so far, I don't know that they really changed the rules.
Okay.
We got artifacts. We got treasure, equipment. So this is a new thing. These equipment cards. So, and this might be in response to games like Gloomhaven, but actually in the original game there was an armory. You'd collect gold after each successful mission, and you could buy items, but there was no real representation. You just had
That's
to.
why you have this.
You had to write it on the character sheet.
Yeah, you got all these.
Yeah,
Pieces of paper.
and actually,
God.
I don't even have a copy of the Armory in my version of the game. And, you know, I was trying to look it up. And on Reddit, there were other people complaining the Armory was just missing. So in one version of the original HeroQuest printing, it was on the inside of the game board. The inside of my game board was actually the instructions on how to put that stuff together.
Yeah.
So when I played this game as a kid, I never had an Armory. Yeah, so we just made it up. I was way off on what the value of items should be. But yeah, I feel like this isn't the same artwork, but it's very much got the same feel of the original game, kind of the black and white. And then on the backs of the cards, we got the nice artwork. So the other kind of, looking back, is a strange thing about this game is the magic was very limited. And you think, oh, like if the magic was limited, that must have meant it was really powerful. But no, I mean, it was like very frustrating to try to play the wizard because, yeah, you would get 9 spells, but you only got to cast each of them once. And the monsters all had a chance to resist them. So
you can whiff easy.
If you didn't have a situation that matched one of your spells as the wizard, you'd kind of just try to run away. Like there were no ranged attacks until you got to the point where you had enough gold to buy things from the Armory. But then, even then, the wizard didn't get access to any of them. So yeah, it was kind of cool. The barbarian was just your tank. He had the best attack and the best defense. The dwarf was next. The dwarf could also disarm traps. The elf was kind of a hybrid character, so you'd get to pick one element of spells. And then you had reasonably good attack and defense, and then the wizard got the rest of the spells. And he was just a glass cannon. And the wizard could easily die in one turn if he got attacked. And it was always sad. And it looks like all that is still the case. So far, I'm pretty impressed.
Pretty good.
So I think it was the Mythic tier.
Okay.
So this is the base game. So I want to believe everyone that finds a game in a store,
I'm gonna grab the screen,
will get this version. Man, this looks exactly the same. It's just the quad fold. Very cool. Slightly higher resolution.
Yeah, more detail in the textures. Oh, crack open the screen.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
What is the theme of HeroQuest? Your heroes on a quest?
That's it.
This is cool. Big full art.
I don't really remember what the hook was.
This has an interesting tilt to it. It's very secretive.
Just like the original.
Oh, the old one too.
The old one had a tilt. The new one has a tilt. This is
a very, very secretive screen. Awesome. It looks pretty similar, actually. Like the graphic design on the inside. Small changes, but different color palette.
Yep.
Awesome. And then I've got quest book here.
We're losing stuff from our tape.
This looks pretty dang similar.
Yeah.
Cool. What's this? Game system rulebook. Not a big rulebook at all.
The art in the rulebook is far superior.
And we have tokens.
Oh.
So like traps and stuff?
So yeah, there were walls and the block corridors, which were used to basically show where the edges of the map were. There were pit traps, there were stairs. I don't remember what the
Oh, the double side.
skulls were 4. But they represented something being dead.
Sure.
To be sure. Yeah.
Cool. Is there another box down here? Or
I feel like
what
there's
is next?
still more inside of
Is
it.
it just a divider?
Maybe.
There was some plastic that.
There's definitely some plastic falling
this is just
on
a-
us this whole time.
This might just be a. Oh, you know what this might be? It might be.
So I
it
can
might
put
give you room for the other
yeah,
stuff.
which would be very cool.
So there's a little
So
insert here.
say overall, oh, here's the broken plastic. Oh, that's a bummer.
One thing. Oh, in the mold.
And the mold.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I think the base game just looks like a very highly detailed, highly polished version of the original, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the sculpts look great. There are a few more, and I think some of these like the barbarian enemies may have been from an expansion originally, but cool.
Cool.
Should I put these back in the
We should.
sleeves?
Yeah. And these are separate. Probably go on top.
This is oh man. Hasbro, you gave me a broken tray. You probably didn't know that it was going to end up in a video.
I gotta take that out. Even this character that was popping out fit, so that's good. These are very tight in the plastic.
Yeah,
Like,
that probably means they'll be broken at some
it'd be-
point.
It's like worrying for painting.
Ah, yeah, the
Probably-
friction.
Probably don't want to paint these as much. Okay, you got another sleeve for this guy, or?
You want sleeve for them? All right.
What do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
So last time I played HeroQuest, by the way,
Yeah.
was probably 8th grade.
8th grade, and you're 21 now?
I'm 21 now. 8th grade would have been like 1998
You got a lid for this guy?
or 99 or 2000. I don't know. In there somewhere. So yeah, that was probably at least 10 years after the game came out, or close to 10 years.
Okay.
And they actually released expansions for this game through the 90s. So this, I think, is the Mythic content pack, which says right on it what it includes. So I think this must be the extra heroes, along with some more. That's interesting. It's like a whole room. Whoa.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I wonder if that. Be interested to see how that connects to the map.
Oh, you got a big guy in here.
So we've got Spirit Queen's Torment. We've got The Crypt of Perpetual Darkness by Joe Manganiello, which I didn't even think they reached that in the funding goal. They must have just done it anyway.
Maybe they just.
They just felt bad that they got Joe Manganiello
Asked him,
to approve something and they didn't reach the funding goal. That was like the ultimate funding goal. Yeah, so these quest books feel just as heavy as the quest book in the base game.
Look at this gargoyle. Okay, this is the mini I pulled out first. It's
Whoa.
huge. It's cool. It's got a lot of
Is that?
interesting.
Oh, that might be the dragon.
detail. Oh, is this a dragon?
Yeah.
It's really detailed for. I don't know. I was not
I
expecting
like the
so much.
verticality. It very much feels like a board game piece still, even though it's giant.
Yeah.
It takes up the same 25 millimeter square as everyone else. Okay, so these are the new heroes. So we've got a bard, which is like this orc guy. We've got, I think it was a halfling warlock, a druid, and another wizard.
A different wizard?
Is it a different wizard?
Maybe.
Or maybe you just get 2 wizards.
Hmm.
Um,
And the red pieces are the hero sculpts.
red piece, they're the hero sculpts, which look great. The warlock's got like a arm transforming into a claw.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it'll be interesting because I know they added mechanics for these new classes.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see what kind of mechanics they added. We got 6 new hit dice.
And there's a box here. Ooh. I need to hold a knife. This one is taped.
Oh man, I
Got it.
thought I knifed everything. So these are, we got druid spells. Got some more, we got bard spells. And we got warlock spells. Okay. Druid can shapeshift, summon a pixie, and heal people. The bard can heal with a song, do a lullaby.
This is the tightest fitting box.
So the warlock, they added a piece of equipment called a wand,
Okay.
which is interesting because I feel like it's borrowing a mechanic from D&D. But the wand essentially gives you a ranged default attack.
Wait, there's more in here.
These are okay. So these are the
These are the
yeah.
These are the feminine sculpts.
Feminine sculpts, except for the elf, they did a masculine sculpt. I thought it was cool that they went ahead and did that. And then I think this is Sir Ragnar. Sir Ragnar was, it was like a rescue quest in the original game. I think he might have been in one of the expansions. But Sir Ragnar, he typically had to represent him with another mini, but yeah, they included him as kind of a hero once you rescue him in this version. So very cool. This is like,
That's awesome.
This is a lot of extra this is, I mean, it's like 3 times the base game.
Mm-hmm.
And you got new classes. I hope this is available for people who didn't Kickstart, but I really don't know. If it's not, I'm very sorry. Grab the game board. I'm kind of curious how this big map piece will interact with the game board. It's a standalone map. It might be like a tavern. Maybe it's like a non-combat map.
Why does it say in the corner? It says, it just says Hasbro.
Yeah. Why did they have to stamp the map in the corner?
Yeah. Oops.
Okay, so maybe it's like maybe there's a quest that involves a tavern brawl or something. That'd be fun.
Sweet.
Cool. Alright, so that was the Mythic
Yeah,
content.
I'm gonna push pretty hard.
Oh man, I push so hard it makes me nervous. Oh, forgot the cards. Where'd the cards come from? Oh gosh.
Oh, they were
They're here.
Okay.
They're
And in there.
Alright. Mythic content. Alright, so also I ended up with 2 expansions, which were,
More boxes.
I believe, remakes of the original expansions. So let's see what's inside of these. You open that one, I'll open this
Okay.
one. So this is Keller's Keep. And that is Return of the Witch Lord. So yeah, another quest book, which is just as long as the original quest book.
Yeah, this comes with a separate room as well. 2 rooms.
Whoa. This comes with giant hands.
And some more monster sculpts.
Long stairs.
Special door. 2 special doors. Came with special doors as well.
Oh, yours is all undead.
Mm.
Is there like a boss in there? Or is it just a bunch of
This
extra
is just the
undead?
little guys.
That's what this one looks like too. It's a bunch of the little green guys. Yeah, I'm realizing now these are not barbarian sculpts. These are feminine orc sculpts. So they just like did a number of different orcs, mixture of masculine and feminine, which is pretty cool. All right, so I got new artifacts, new equipment. One of the scarier mechanics from the original game was when you open a chest or whenever you access this treasure deck, there were wandering monsters. And so you could think you're getting treasure, but actually just get attacked. It's pretty terrible.
That's
disappointing. This game was brutal. Cool, man.
Wow.
So I think we have to play it now.
We probably should.
We
do. I think I want to paint some of those too, especially the scatter.
They're pretty great. Yeah, you're right. The scatter would be very cool. And I like that the monsters are at least color coded. That was one of my at least in my experience since this game was created, it's cool because I feel like there's a lot of modern board games that still don't color code minis. They'll just print all in gray, all in white. Yeah. And so it's nice. Yeah. A lot of these are broken. My gargoyle is missing both of its weapons. I also appreciated exactly how much they matched. Hold on. Oh, yeah. They matched the artwork, so it was like... It makes me wonder, like, which came first. There's a broken cast. But it was like, which came first?
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good.
The art or the mini? I wonder if they went to their 2D artist with the mini sculpt or if it was the other way around. Nowadays, I imagine you get the concept made in 2D and then send it to your sculptor. But who knows how it worked in the 80s when they were actually sculpting by hand.
Wow.
HeroQuest.
HeroQuest.
2021. Yeah. So yeah, 30 years between these two. But I feel like, man, the original version is still really impressive to me.
Yeah. I think also, I mean, just in the context of the time, I mean, now mini-filled board games are pretty common, but
yeah, I mean, how much does the original feel like a modern board game?
No, it feels, it's really...
That's kind of the incredible thing to me, is you got Gloomhaven that exists now, but you look back at this, it's like all the elements from Gloomhaven were here, way back in 1990. Except for maybe the cards and a much deeper strategy. That's pretty basic. You're just swinging a sword or casting a spell. Yeah.
They say 14 plus on them, though. I wonder if the content of the story is 14 plus, because it's not super difficult to play, right? Or so you're saying?
I think the rules are a little deep.
Okay.
But as far as content, I don't remember anything being gnarly enough to require, a more mature rating.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's HeroQuest.
Cool. Hopefully it's fun to play. We'll see how well the game system has aged in 30 years, because it seems like they didn't really change it.
Nice.
Cool.